Hi, everybody. Welcome to our call, our Monday night call. I want to thank you guys all for being on and investing in your business by being on the call. We have a couple guests on the call tonight, so I want to welcome them. Just wanted to give you a few updates for this week. It's our last week and a half in November, and we still have our specials going on. So if you're having a hard time hitting Success Club, make sure that you guys are talking about PIO and the Ultimate Reset. Those two challenge packs are on sale till the end of the month. We also, if you guys haven't seen, we have Black Friday specials that start tomorrow, and they start tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time, and they go till December 2nd or till whenever everything is gone. So I don't know if you've seen the big picture. We have it in our group posted, but there are things anywhere from 50% off to 83% off. So make sure that if you've had anybody interested in purchasing, but they haven't had money or finances are a little tight, this is a perfect way to get them a program for half the price. So check out those sales. I would suggest not using that picture. Either make your own or find another picture. I'm sure if you Google Black Friday Beachbody sales, somebody has made a picture. So be sure to start advertising for that or private messaging people, following up with your contacts that you need to. And also, there is still time to hit Success Club. I know there's only a week and a half left, but follow up with old contacts, ask for referrals. If you need ideas, let me know, and I can help you figure out how to hit Success Club. I know I'm right there with you. I'm trying to hit it. Hitting Success Club is a no matter what for me, so I will be working my tushy off till the last day trying to get that. So if you need ideas or that is a goal of yours, please let me know and I will help you out. All right, we have a couple successes that I want to share with you. First of all, I want to congratulate Michelle Harper on her first Beachbody check. She got her first check last week. So congratulations to you for that. Yay! I don't think she's on the call, but she can listen to the recording. Success Club points this month, we have Stephanie with 6, Christina Tenney with 2, Megan Schwartz with 1, and she's a new coach, so congratulations, Megan. Sharon Lyons with 2, Taylor Barnes with 1, and Amanda Jackson with 1. So good job on hitting some Success Club points. We have some team builders, and those are people who have added coaches to their team. And congratulations, Christina, Roseanne Ray, Stephanie, and Darren. We also want to welcome our new coaches on our team, Melissa Herman, Cecil Ray, Heather James, and Amanda Conder. So congratulations and welcome to the team. We are excited to have you. So I uploaded a video last night talking about how I was excited for this call. And I had originally thought that I was going to share, but then I have asked a special guest to share tonight. Yesterday at church, we had an amazing sermon that was all about leadership, and it talked about influence and how we are an influence to people and how we need to follow people, people that we want to be like or that are a good example. And so my dad, Ken Frazier, is on the call tonight, and I actually called him up today and I was like, hey, would you like to speak? Because I can't redo his notes. Like, I was trying to take notes yesterday. I was like, this is so good, and it just wasn't coming out. So he is going to talk to you tonight about being somebody of influence and being somebody that people want to follow. So go ahead, Papa.
Hi, everybody. Glad I have a chance to do this. I'm going to talk about living a life of example. And I'm going to use my number one leadership book, which is the Bible. And whether you believe in the Bible or not, there's a lot of great leadership principles in it. And so I'm going to pull some of those out and just kind of share a little bit of what I feel about being a leader. And I'm going to challenge you today on how, when it comes to living your life as a leader, we have a responsibility to live as an example to all who would see or hear or watch our lives. We have a responsibility. And I do want to, as we're talking about this, remind you that it's not about perfection. It's not about being a perfect person, but it is about being a real person, that we are real. And in spite of our weaknesses, our failures, how we respond to life and how we respond to those things, it causes people to admire and want to follow. And so I have a couple of questions, actually 3 questions that I want to ask you, and just to think about as I ask them. First of all, have you ever admired somebody? You saw their life and you saw that they were doing some things that you were like, man, that's awesome. I'd like to be like that person, or I'd like to have those characteristics. Maybe you saw something in their marriage, a good marriage, or maybe you saw something in their family, or maybe they had good work ethic. They're a great coach, or character that counts. And you thought, man, I'd really like that. I think all of us have probably had that we would follow. The second one that I'd ask is, have you ever looked at a person that didn't have life together? Maybe somebody who was a homeless person or somebody who was struggling, and have you ever looked at them and said, man, I really want to be like that person? Most people don't aspire to do that. And so just the challenge to us that people are watching us. So the last question would be, am I living a life that's worth following? And so those are 3 questions. So the 3 things that I want to focus on tonight is, who are you influencing? Who are you leading? And who are you following? So the first one would be, who are you influencing? If you're writing it down, that would be the first one. Who are you influencing? Different times in my life, I've had people that have come up to me and say, I've been watching you. I didn't know who they were, but from a distance, they'd watch me. And sometimes, I mean, we have the social network with Facebook. People follow us all the time, and they're watching. It can kind of be unnerving, especially if we're not living the life that we say we are, and that we communicate, and they see different. But on the other side, it can be also empowering. We know that it's influencing people. We never know who we're influencing. And so thus the question, am I living a life that is worthy of following? And so there are many people watching us every day, especially you as coaches. You're on this tonight because you're a coach, or you're checking things out. And so we want to be a person that is influencing, and recognize that we are influencing people that we may not even know. So I always like to look at, why is that important? Why is it important to recognize that, and then to live a life that's worthy? And first of all, it's because it solidifies in a person's mind the what you've been saying. When you are talking about something and then you live it, people can follow that, and you influence that in their lives. There's a scripture that I follow, or that I use a lot, and it's in 1 Peter 2:12, and it says, be careful to live properly among your unbelieving neighbors. So be careful to live properly around people. Then even if they accuse you of doing wrong, they will see your honorable behavior. Sometimes people will look at it and they have an opinion about us, but if we're living our lives in such a way, influencing in a proper way, they're still going to see your honorable behavior. I think it's very important in influencing people. So that would be the why. Then the how. How do I influence people positively? And some of a couple of things that I've tried to live my life with, and that's with good character and integrity. It used to be in our culture that your word would be your bond, a handshake. We handshake, yes, I agree, and that would be good enough. That's not the way it is anymore. We have contracts, we have lawyers, we have all that. And it's because in a lot of cases, there's not good character and there's not good integrity. And I feel like we've lost that in society, but according to us as leaders, we can bring that back. Proverbs 10:9 says, people with integrity walk safely, but those who follow crooked paths will be exposed. And so integrity and good character is vital in being a good leader. And there's also in some more scripture, sorry, I'm bombarding you with scripture, but it's a great leadership tool. Colossians 3:12, it talks about putting stuff in your life. And it actually says clothing yourselves, like putting it on. And it says, since God chose you to be holy people he loves, it says you must clothe yourselves with tenderhearted mercy. As a good leader, we would be tenderhearted. It says clothe yourself with kindness and with humility. It's great to be a place to be humble. It's gentleness, being gentle with people. It's also being very patient. And then it says make every allowance for each other's faults. We're gonna make mistakes. You as a leader is gonna make mistakes. Other people are gonna make mistakes. It's making allowance and saying, hey, we'll work through this together. And it's also forgiving anyone who offends you. So good character and good integrity comes along with that we would put that on in our lives, forgiving people that offend us. And it's valuable and important. So the next thing, the second thing is, who are you leading? So who were you influencing? Now who are you leading? You're always leading people. And you, again, as coaches, you're leading people. You have people that are here on your teams. And so you never know how much those people that you're leading are going to change the world. You don't know which one. You don't know who's going to change the world or who is it. Each one of us have an opportunity by who we lead to change the world, as we're trying to do the same. One of our core values in our church, we have core values of how we want to operate. And one of those core values is intentional leadership. And it says this: we raise and release spirit-led leaders to fulfill God's calling in their lives. And that is basically, we will always be intentional about raising leaders and developing leaders and knowing that we are leading people. And we want to keep that in our forefront. So the why do I need to be intentional in my leadership? And I think, again, I have an example of a friend who many, many years ago, almost 30 years ago, he had an experience with God, and he came back and shared it with my wife and I. We had just been married and didn't even have our kids, our family yet. And he shared with me what happened in his life, and it inspired me. And he in a sense led me to a relationship with God and with Jesus myself. And little did he know that 30 years later that influence that he had impacted my whole entire family, my wife, my kids now, and Megan's one of those. So inspiring people. And his simple, I had an opportunity to actually talk with him here not too long ago, as he was admiring, and he wrote a Facebook post about our family, and he is watching my son Eric, as some of you may know, had a brain tumor and has been on chemotherapy for almost over a year now, and he's doing CrossFit and very involved with CrossFit, and had an article written about him as he's going through chemo. And this friend of mine made comment of how much he admired our family and what we were doing. And so I was able to actually, as a leader, go back to him and say, you know what, you had a great influence, and you led us little did you know that our family, what you had to do in your leadership would affect many others. And so that's who are we leading in it, and recognizing that. And then how we do that, again, I put in good character again, integrity, and then adding to that a willingness to step out of your comfort zone, and be a confident leader. And so those would be the three things that go along in how do I be intentional of leadership. And so the why is because you are leading people and it can change the world. And the how is, again, with good character, good integrity, and stepping out of your comfort zone and doing what you're led to do as a confident leader. And then the third thing that I want to look at is, who are you following? And this is vital as well as leaders. We all need people in our lives that we are following, or that can challenge us, that we're following and that challenge us. And Proverbs 10:8 says, the wise are glad to be instructed. So a wise person is glad to be instructed, but babbling fools fall flat on their faces. And I just look at that as that we as leaders need to also have people that are leading us. And that's the why. If I think of myself as arriving, so I've got this all figured out, and I believe I have it all figured out, I can become arrogant. I become full of pride, and I become selfish, and I become a know-it-all. And ultimately, I don't need you. And so we need to always remember that we need to be following somebody that is doing it, somebody that we would look at and we would aspire and say, I want to be like that. I want to be a person that is a great leader. And so that's the why, is because if I don't do that, then I become selfish and arrogant and prideful, and then I come to a place that I don't need you anymore. And that's not a good place. Romans 12:3 says, don't think you are better than you really are. Be honest in your evaluation of yourselves. This scripture really speaks to me because I can really evaluate myself pretty high. I can evaluate myself on intentions instead of action. And when I evaluate myself on my intentions, I'm always going to evaluate myself higher than I really am. And so I need to be careful that I don't, and I need to be honest. It says, be honest in your evaluation of yourself. And recently, I at the beginning of last year, in January, on my staff, I have a staff that I lead, as well as the church. And I noticed some things going on, some rumblings, and I was wondering why. And I thought, man, they need to get this worked out in themselves. But ultimately, I realized that it was my leadership. And so I had to evaluate and be honest about my evaluation, about who I was and what I was doing, and face some of the hard facts that I wasn't leading as well as I could. And that's where that honest evaluation comes in. And so I had to make some changes because my leadership was affecting my whole staff. And so that's the honest evaluation. It hurt. It hurt admitting, because I actually sat down with my staff and said, hey guys, I'm sorry that I haven't been leading as well as I could. And so we always need to remind ourselves that that there needs to be people ahead of us doing it, and we're following that and learning from that. And so I put some other people in my life that were able to help me in those areas that I was failing in. And so that and encourage, and that's the why, is to be better, and know that I do need people. We need people. So the how is it that to do it? And that's simple. You've probably read into it, but it's by letting people speak into our lives. And throughout my life, I've had people speak into my life in many different ways. Sometimes it's through long distance mentors, and it could be a book. Some of you may know John Maxwell and some of those great leaders. They're mentors to me, but they're long distance. I've never met them, but they're still mentors to me. People that I know closely that are in my life, that are mentors as well as my spouse, my wife, even though it may be hard sometimes to hear from her. She's a good one to speak into my life, and my kids as well, and then friends, different ones. But have people in your life that are speaking to you and leading you, and it takes humility, a willingness to say, I need it, I need to follow, and so we're doing it all together. We're influencing people, we're leading people, and we're also following and growing from that. So I'll finish with this. Living your life impacts people positively or negatively. We get to choose. It's so important that we should always, again, I encourage you, let's do it positively and be careful to live properly among your neighbors. So that would be my encouragement. You're influencing people, you're leading people, and you're also being led. So I hope this helps and encourages. And if you have any questions, I'm always available to answer questions. So that would be mine. God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for all being on the call. I hope you were able to take away something from that about influencing and leading and having people that you follow on a regular basis. But then also my biggest takeaway was evaluating what I need to do in my own leadership to help my team grow. There's always something that we can be doing better. And so remembering that and remembering to always be growing, always be asking your mentors, hey, what area do you see in my life that I can do better? Or what part of my leadership skills can I work on? So that is my thing for you tonight. Thank you, Dad, for being on. If you guys have any questions or want to chit chat, we can take it over to our Facebook page and go from there. Ember, do you have anything? You're good? All right. Well, enjoy your night, and let's talk next week, 6:15. We'll see you later.
Hey, everybody.
Bye.